Thank you for joining me in a discussion about two very important business topics that are often heard in large corporations but rarely discussed in small business. And that has to do with your profit model and your org structure. Your profit model is how your business goes about generating sales at a profit, whereas your org structure is how you connect people to do the things that need to be done to generate the sales at a profit. This video is about engaging experts in helping you determine what is your business profit model and how should your org structure be shaped. It's particularly designed for people who find that everything in their business falls apart when they leave. In other words, when they're not there to stay on top of what needs to be done, to be a resource for answering all questions relative to what needs to be done when, then you're a business owner primed for getting some help around defining your profit model and setting your org structure in place. It's important to appreciate that every substantial business, when you think about the big ones, the Fortune 100 companies, they have defined key roles required to execute their profit model. They have people in place to perform those roles, and they have metrics and measures in place to determine whether or not they're doing the jobs that need to be done. Whereas businesses that tend to struggle, particularly those that are in the survival profit stage, they have one thing in common. They over-rely on the owner to do most everything of any importance. Sometimes that's a function of the owner themselves wanting to control and hold on to everything. Other times it's a function of the people not knowing what they don't know. So don't let this happen to you. Confirm what your org structure needs to be to earn predictable profits. The deliverable associated with this particular service is about making sure that your profit model is clearly understood, and that your org structure is set up to inform, direct, and connect the work to be done by employees to realize the goals of the profit model. More specifically, a business earning predictable profits is how you know if your profit model and org structure are properly in place. So if you're not earning predictable profits, chances are your profit model has some holes in it and your org structure isn't properly set up. This is a big determiner on what profit stage a business falls into. When you look at the business profitability model, which is universal, it applies to every single business no matter where it's located. The results of that profit model is what puts you in one of these 5 profit stages. And the quality of the life, particularly for a small business owner and the key managers, is directly impacted by the org structure. In other words, there's someone where the buck stops there, and then outside of that is the division of labor associated with delegated accountabilities and responsibilities. Your quality of life is shaped by both your profit stage and how you're structured to do your work. The way I like to think about structure it actually has its origin in the business book Good to Great. This book has a great concept around who's on the bus. And so org structure is more than just reporting relationships. It's more than just boxes that says who reports to who. It really is about defining the right people, the people that you want on the bus with you. I always think in terms of who's on the bus as the owner is in the driver's seat. Those that sit closest to them are the people that they work closest to. And then the other seats within the bus are filled with the right people in the right seats. In other words, those that fit the culture and are on board with the direction of the business, they're in their assigned seat doing their role. And then those that don't fit, they're moved off the bus. In other words, those that fit stay, and those that don't fit get moved off the bus through a process we call progressive discipline. So businesses that know how to manage their business profit model and have the right people in the right seats are more likely to be in the stable and substantial stages, depending on the volume of profits that they generate, really is reflected in the cash that flows through the business and into reserves, are more likely to be here, whereas those who don't have a good definition of their profit model, nor do they have the right people in the right seats. At best, they're here. More likely, they're there. And so what's the cost of this? Well, consider a business that wants to generate $1 million in sales, and this year they want to grow sales by 20%. So they want to hit 1.2 million in sales, and they want to have 18% return on those sales. A business in this scenario puts $144,000 in profit at risk by not having people in the right positions, by not having their structure in place. So if this is you, if you struggle to make the money you should and hate how dependent everyone in your business is on you before they do anything, then this is a great service for you to capitalize on, to take advantage of. Particularly if you want more of this. These are the top 3 math equations in business, and I mean every business. If you want all 3 of these equations to be increasing, then this is a key service for you to acquire from us. If particularly if you want less of this, because people who struggle with their cash flow results, their profit results, and their balance sheet equation are businesses that don't know what their profit model is, nor do they have their organization structured, their business structured to deliver against their profit model. So with that, there are a few requirements to be able to take action on this service. One is you got to be willing. That is, you got to recognize that you are the constraint. An owner that has a business that is highly reliant on them and everything falls apart when they're gone, they need to have a desire to get out of that position of being the bottleneck. The second thing they need is to be willing to allow others to step in and step up. Lastly, you gotta participate in the process. There's a workforce requirements survey that needs to be completed. There's some financial information that we need to have to help ground us in your current reality, and that information then will enable us to help you solve this problem. And it's a problem that is pretty common, and it's one that can be solved with some quality definitions of what things need to be and what they need to look like, as well as a willingness to make the required changes. So if you're prepared to do this, then we invite you to act by going to business-cpr.com/scheduler to get started. If you find yourself not quite ready to act but would like a little more information, then go to the same URL, but instead of /scheduler, go to /P7 to learn the failure to earn the business profits you should. It confirms that you have a problem with your business model and org structure. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to take this call. Goodbye.